Hello everyone, welcome to the Cinematic Spellbook channel. Today, I'm going to introduce you to 8 action-packed historical series that will take you deep into ancient wars and bloody battles. Number 8, The Bastard Executioner.
You care for him deeply.
I do.
I did not kill that woman.
The story of this series takes place in medieval Wales, around the 14th century. The main character, Brattle, is an English knight who has fought in bloody wars and has become weary and disillusioned. He decides to lay down his sword and build a peaceful, trouble-free life for himself. But, as always, the world has other plans. A cruel lord named Ventress and his men arrive and destroy Brattle's village and kill his friends. With nothing left to lose, Brattle sets out for revenge. However, he can't do it under his real identity, so he's forced to disguise himself as an executioner and work as the lord's official headsman in Ventress's castle. From there, Brattle begins secretly taking out his enemies one by one. But the path he's chosen is full of danger, and at any moment, his true identity could be revealed. Number 7, Knightfall.
The Grail will destroy us all.
This series is an exciting historical action drama set in the Middle Ages, focusing on the legendary Knights Templar. The story begins in 1306, a time when the Templars were still a powerful force. However, after suffering a major defeat in battle, they lose the Holy Grail, a sacred relic of great importance to them. Years later, Landry, one of the Templars' key commanders, discovers that the Grail wasn't destroyed and finds clues pointing to its whereabouts. This sets him off on a dangerous journey to recover it. Along the way, he faces countless challenges, from betrayal and brutal warfare to political intrigue and a deadly conflict with King Philip IV of France. King Philip, heavily indebted to the Templars, hatches a plan to destroy them instead of repaying what he owes. The series is filled with bloody battles, betrayals, political conspiracies, and religious wars, showing how one of the most powerful orders in history edges closer to collapse. Number 6, Barbarians. This is a German historical action series that takes us back to the legendary Battle of the Teutoburg Forest in 9 AD, where Germanic tribes delivered a crushing defeat to the mighty Roman army. The story mainly revolves around Arminius, a Germanic boy who was taken by the Romans as a child and raised within their empire. He eventually becomes a Roman officer and returns to his homeland. But when he witnesses the cruelty and oppression the Romans inflict on his people, he can't stay silent. At the same time, Thusnelda, a brave woman from one of the Germanic tribes, and Folkwin, Arminius's childhood friend, decide to rise up against Roman rule. After a long inner struggle, Arminius finally chooses not to betray his people. Instead, he devises a brilliant plan to bring down the Roman army in the dense and treacherous Teutoburg forest. Number 5, Domina.
Mothers and children, poison and blood.
This series tells the story of a powerful woman named Livia. At first, she's a noblewoman, but after the fall of the Roman Republic, her life is turned upside down. When Julius Caesar is assassinated, Livia is forced to flee Rome due to political turmoil, but that's just the beginning of her journey. Using her sharp mind and political savvy, Livia gradually climbs her way back to power. She eventually returns to Rome and marries Augustus, who later becomes emperor. From that point on, she becomes one of the most influential figures behind the scenes of the empire. The series shows how Livia navigates a male-dominated world full of betrayal, schemes, and power struggles, fighting to protect her position and her family at all costs. Number 4, El Cid. This series follows the life of a brave young man named Rodrigo Diaz, famously known as El Cid. He lived in Old Spain, during a time when kings and warriors ruled the land and everyone was hungry for power. After the death of his father, Rui is forced to go to the royal court of King Fernando, where he serves as a squire to the king's son, Prince Sancho. The court is full of scheming, politics, and betrayal, but Rui always tries to stay honest and loyal, both to his king and to his people. Meanwhile, Rui falls in love with a young woman named Jimena, but there's a problem: she's being forced to marry a powerful nobleman named Orduno. The series is packed with battles, politics, betrayals, and loyalty. It tells the story of how an ordinary man rises through hardship and conflict to become a true legend. Number 3, The Winter King.
We're all lost.
This British historical drama series is set in the 5th century AD, a time when Britain was far from being a unified country and was torn apart by constant tribal conflicts and outside threats like the invading Saxons. The series follows the story of Arthur, the illegitimate son of King Arthur, who returns from exile to a land full of chaos and warring tribes. Determined to become a legendary warrior and leader, Arthur steps into a dangerous and divided world. After the death of King Arthur, the kingdom falls into disarray, and Arthur must rise to the challenge. With the help of his trusted advisors and allies, including the famous wizard Merlin, he sets out to unite the fractured land and defend it from its enemies. Number 2, Frontier.
It's only about his own games. He's an animal. Killing him is not enough.
This is a gritty and intense historical series set in the 18th century, a time when Europeans were aggressively exploiting the natural resources of North America, especially in the booming fur trade. The main character is Declan Harp, a tough and headstrong man of mixed Irish and indigenous heritage. He once worked for a powerful company called the Hudson's Bay Company, which held a monopoly over the fur trade. But after a series of betrayals and brutal events, Declan returned seeking revenge, determined to bring down the company's corrupt and greedy system. His main enemy is Lord Benton, a ruthless and psychotic figure who will stop at nothing to maintain control. The series is packed with violence, betrayal, political scheming, and brutal confrontations at every turn. Number 1, Cursed.
This is our only chance at survival.
This series follows a young girl named Nimue, who possesses mysterious powers and is destined to become the legendary Lady of the Lake from Arthurian legend. After losing her mother, she crosses paths with a mercenary named Arthur, and together they embark on a journey to deliver a magical sword to the wizard Merlin. Throughout this adventurous quest, Nimue gradually transforms into a hero and a symbol of resistance against a dangerous religious group known as the Red Paladins. The series has a strong fantasy vibe, filled with magic, battles, and a fresh take on the legend of King Arthur, told through the eyes of a powerful and unique young woman. Well, friends, that's it for today's video. I hope you found it helpful. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.